Welcome to Virtual Office VA Staffing. We are 100% U.S.-based and trained virtual assistants. So you can spend less time working on the deals and more time on closing the deals. We do the work, you negotiate, close, and make more money in the process. So let's see how all of this works. Are you running around in circles trying to get ahead and feel overwhelmed with all the daily mundane tasks? Do you have a consistent buying and selling system in place? You may be lacking some of these things, which can slow you down, and you need an assistant to help you out. So we've got that taken care of. We provide the critical puzzle piece that many of the successful investors already have, trained U.S. virtual assistants. Virtual assistants provide those critical levels of support that your business needs without weighing you down at the same time. Critical reasons for using a virtual assistant to reach another level of your success, well, they alleviate the daily grunt work, the things that slow you down the most. They allow you more time to focus on your family and business and, well, closing deals. They can keep you organized, and so you can focus on more deals and more family time. They allow for a more streamlined and automated system, which provides you less stress and saves you time and money. Some tasks that a VA can do when assisting you in buying houses, they can research and call FSBOs for you from the different ads online. They can call them, get the information, fill out the property information sheet, and email it to you. And then you follow up and get the contract. They can also answer incoming calls from any of your marketing campaigns, whether you have signs that you place out, you do direct mail, you do advertisements, no matter what it is. They can answer those incoming calls and, again, fill out a property information sheet and email it to you so that you can get this information right away. Some tasks that a VA can do to assist in selling houses. Now you've got the house under contract, it's time to find a buyer for it. So we can help you build flyers for the property. We can place ads on Craigslist as well as other online sites and keep ads current and fresh. We can create virtual tours of the property as long as you provide pictures. We can create and update all your social media, whatever presence that you have on social media, and the virtual tour will also go on YouTube. Answer incoming calls from any of the marketing campaigns, just like I said on the seller side. We can screen the buyers and send the qualified buyer information sheets to you so that you're not getting somebody who's not qualified. Update website with property information and virtual tour video. And send emails, voicemail, or text blasts to your entire buyers list so we can help get you out there, get that property out there and exposed so that you're not spending so much time doing that. Other things that virtual office VAs can do for you is build websites for your buy and sell side, whether you want separate sites or one single site that covers both, and SEO the sites. We can also set up and provide you with an internal website that contains all the documents that your VA is currently working on. Unless you have a CRM, then we would enter everything in directly on that CRM instead. We list all the status of the properties that we've called on, all the completed buyer and seller information sheets, as well as any of the calls that come in from your marketing programs. So all of that would be on the internal website unless you had a CRM that you wanted everything directly in there instead. Now, we want you to focus on your job. Your job is to follow up on the leads provided and get the deals under contract. Review the buyer information sheets to determine which is the best buyer for which property. Negotiate and close the deal, And always, always communicate with the VA. The more communication, the more success there is between both parties. And you want success. So our VAs are extensively trained U.S.-based professional independent contractors. They're based throughout the entire country. Therefore, they're much more available than your typical 9-to-5 office type of assistant. And we have a proven system in place to assist in your business success. We want you to succeed. So we save you the expenses of all your payroll taxes, insurance, and all of that. Since our VAs are independent contractors, you don't have to worry about that. We do the contracting, we do the training, we do the time and quality monitoring on what the VA does, and firing for you if that's what's necessary. And that's just another time saver for you and money saver. Now, our goal is to deliver the best automated system and customer service in the industry, because your success is our success. So we want you to succeed at all costs and all levels. Our VAs have a team of consultants that are going to monitor over all work performed by your VA and is there for you to communicate with via email or phone if you have any issues whatsoever. You're also encouraged to have regular open communication with your VA. Again, communication is the key to success. Your success is our success. So we want you to succeed. Now, if you have a regular employee, an in-house office assistant versus a virtual assistant doing the same things, here's a little bit of a difference for you. An employee, you're going to have to hire, train, and monitor them. With us, we already do that for you. You just communicate with them. You have to supply the equipment, a desk, a phone, a chair, a computer, everything needed for them. And as a virtual assistant, they're independent contractors. They have their own equipment that they use. No cost to you. An employee, you'd have to pay your payroll taxes, your insurance, your unemployment taxes, and all this other stuff. Well, virtual assistant, again, you don't have to do that. An employee, you'd have to find enough work to keep them busy, otherwise they're getting paid for wasted time. A virtual assistant, you're only paying for actual time worked, so you can decide how much time your weekly budget can afford, and that's what the VA works. If you have a problem with the virtual assistant, we'll get you a replacement so that you don't have to turn around and, as you would an employee, retrain, hire, and monitor them, the next person again. So we save you those costs with using virtual assistants. A lot of people use foreign virtual assistants versus U.S., and that's fine. There's advantages and disadvantages on both sides. Here's a breakdown for you. A foreign VA, you're going to have language barriers, cultural barriers, time difference, but the positive side, they're going to cost less. So they are more cost efficient for project work. A U.S. VA, positive, they speak English, they know our culture and understand. There's a minimal time zone difference. It may be 1, 2, or maybe 3 hours max, but they are going to cost more for that. So that's going to be your downfall. But for phone work, that's what you want, is a U.S.-based VA. When it comes to just any back-end stuff that time of day doesn't matter or how well they speak English doesn't matter that much, you can use a foreign VA and save a couple bucks. You're welcome to do that. But I would highly suggest, whether you use our VA service or not, I do highly suggest that when it comes to any phone work or direct communication with people here in the United States, that you stick with a U.S.-based virtual assistant. So here's how our program at Virtual Office VA works. Our seller lead process, that's where most people need to start, is getting the seller leads coming in. You would provide us the criteria, cities, zips, counties, there's no limit on how many, the types of homes that you're looking for, the minimum number of bedrooms. We suggest minimum of 3 unless your area can get rid of less than that, and your price range that you want to choose. We suggest to keep it pretty open, but that all depends on your location as well. We would then set up a local phone number to you for your VA to make and receive the calls. This way it looks like the VA is right there in town with you. Then the VA and the supervisor will introduce themselves to you via email. This is your time to go over any specifics with the VA and get familiar with him or her. The VA will then, once you give the okay to get started, the VA will then locate, call, and complete property information sheets on the local FSBOs and rentals in your area. If you're not doing lease purchases, then rentals may not be the way to go. But if you are doing lease purchase deals, then rentals are also a good one for them to hit. And the script is basically the same. It just starts out a little bit differently, obviously, because we're calling a landlord. Then we fill out the property information sheets, and they're emailed to you each day. Calls are made anywhere between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. local to you within the federal guidelines. And you choose the amount of time per week to stay within your budget. Now, we do have a 5-hour per week minimum, and that's to ensure that we're getting at least 1 to 3 leads per hour, depending on your location, depending on your criteria area. If your criteria has enough properties in it, we can get 2 to 3 leads an hour. If your criteria doesn't have a lot of properties in it, it's going to be closer to that 1 per hour. So keep that in mind with how tight you make your criteria. You could also supply leads for the VA to call as well. If you're driving around, you see a house with a sign in the front yard, you can take a picture and send that to the VA with the address. If the VA hasn't already called that property, they'll call and get that information as well. So you're always welcome to do that. Now, on the buying side, or the buyer side, you decide what kind of marketing you want. We can do basic generic ads, Craigslist ads, just looking for buyers. Then there's specific property ads, where you already have the property under contract and you want to market that particular property. And with the specific property ads, we do generic ads as well. You give us the property info, your price that you want for it, or price range if you don't want to give an exact price. Just say, you know, in the 200s or something along those lines. And pictures of the property. Signs is another way to do marketing. A separate VA will be assigned for a buyer account. Or if you want incoming to take those calls and screen them as the buyers are calling in, then it'll be our incoming team that actually takes care of it for you. This way we have different people on different shifts answering calls. The VA is going to answer or return marketing calls, complete the buyer form, screen the buyers, email them to you. If a buyer thinks that they can get a house for $500 down and $500 a month, well, we're going to explain it to them that that's not possible and that they need to come up with more money, and you're not going to be wasted on the time for the buyer sheet. We're going to just get through that phone call and move on, and you're not even going to have to see the buyer sheet on that. We can also send email, text, and or voice blasts to the buyers list whenever a house is available. And we can do other marketing as well. As far as marketing specifics, we can do your web design or updates, SEO on the websites, your search engine optimization, Set up the virtual tours on the specific properties, get them on YouTube, get them on your website, get them in the ads that are being placed. Help you with your social media exposure, whether you want daily postings to your social media or you want just when marketing gets done on a property, posting that on social media, however you want it. The ads are typically placed on about 25 different websites weekly on our guerrilla marketing program. We can also create flyers, business cards, logos, whatever you need for your branding of your company. And we can also assist with the yellow letter campaigns. You provide the list, we do the rest. Now, some advantages of using Virtual Office VA versus some other U.S.-based VA companies. Calls can be answered live and all information obtained in one call versus using a call center to answer those calls. If you're using a call center, then someone would have to call them back to get the rest of the information. If you're using an automated or IVR system, a lot of people aren't calling to talk to a computer, so therefore they hang up and you lose that person. So that's the advantage of having the calls answered live, being able to get all the information during normal hours. And the normal hours that we would answer is from 9 to 9. Most of the time it's not quality phone calls after 9 o'clock at night. Our call system does have the local phone number and captures time, date, and length of every call. So not just the voicemails, but missed calls, it also logs. So we're able to call back all missed calls as well as voicemails. And we, like I said earlier, we have the internal site that's set up so you can see all the time that's being done with your leads from your VA. So you can see the activity. Unless you're using a CRM, then everything's in there directly. We specialize for the last 5+ years now on researching online FSBOs and rentals, calling them, obtaining the property information sheet, answering and screening your buyer and seller calls, organizing all your buyer and seller leads and calls, and follow-up appointments. Many types of marketing for buyers and sellers. We can do property management tasks for rentals, communicating with you for optimal success, and keeping you organized. We really specialize in wanting to keep you organized so that you can be more productive yourself. So we help you do that by providing all your documents the VA is working on in one place and being able, if you're using a CRM or a calendar or anything like that, keeping everything linked together for automation and to make your life a little easier. Now, our particular program includes the internal website for all the documents unless you have a CRM, all time being verified by the consultants to make sure that time is being billed correctly to you. If the manager can't verify the time, you're not charged the time. So all time has to be verifiable. You have a designated VA as well as that VA consultant for all the communication that you need, plus you can reach out to the rest of us as well. You would get a local phone number for the VA so that it looks like the VA is right there in town with you when making those phone calls. No VA can work more than one client per criteria area, so this avoids sharing of leads between investors. Every account that we have is customized to each client's needs. So if you have special needs, special questions you want, a certain way you want things done, we try to customize as much as possible to what your needs are. VAs are not to search FSBOs for more than 15 minutes if no new leads can be found. We're not about research time and charging you. We're about production because that's where your money comes from, is production. So if the VA can't find any leads because the area is tapped out, you're going to be notified, the VAs, to stop looking. You're not going to be charged a bunch of research time. All of our services are on a week-to-week basis, which allows you to stay within a budget and turn services on and off as you may need them to be. So, don't waste time on the mundane tasks while deals slip you away. Because if deals are slipping by, so is the money. Can you actually afford to not do what most of the successful investors are already doing? Cost can be easily covered by the deals you could be closing if you had that VA helping you close those deals. Get a VA to do the work for you. We don't have any long-term contracts. No more hiring and training an assistant. No more wondering what you're paying for. We've got all of that covered for you. Now, what you've probably been wondering, cost. Well, our FSBO calling or outbound calling program, the 5-hour per week minimum, one local phone number is included. That's $120 a week, 36 cents a minute for anything over 5 hours. So less than $500 a month, and our competitors are over $650 a month. Our guerrilla marketing program, your regular generic ad accounts are roughly $45 a week. Depends on how much time is put into how much time is needed on the ads. So it could be a little bit less, it could be a little bit more, but roughly right around $45 per week. Specific property ads and generic ads are $95 per week. For 1 to 2 properties, anything over that's $45 extra bucks a week. And that does include roughly 7 to 10 hours worth of marketing a week. The answering of incoming calls. 1 hour of calls plus 1 to 2 local phone numbers that's separate from the outbound call phone number is $65 a week, 36 cents a minute for anything over that first hour. And you can adjust, you can tell them where you want to stop at if you want to stop. Websites, $30 an hour. Roughly, if it's building from scratch, usually takes anywhere from 5 to 7 hours. Could take a little bit more if there needs to be more figuring out on logos and color schemes and so forth. So it could take up to 10 hours to give you an idea. We do have a one-time setup fee that is normally $695. However, through this online-only sign-up, you're going to get it for $295. But you have to use the promo code at the sign-up page of VA Now in all capital letters in order to get $295 setup fee. It's a big break off the setup fee. So let's see what some of our clients have to say about us so you can kind of get an idea of how they have felt. Okay, this first one. We are true believers in automation, duplication, and systemization, and having VAs has helped us achieve our goals. We are very happy with our VAs and are pleased to have them on our team. Thank you, John and Stephanie Iannotti. Next one. I would like to say that Virtual Office VA staffing has been above and beyond my expectations. There is several layers of review and accountability of all work, and my VA has been nothing short of great. So nice to have virtual VA staffing to handle this end of the business for me, so I am free to meet with and put together deals with buyers and sellers. Scale of 1 to 10, they're at the top. Thanks to Elsa and everyone at VOVA Staffing, Ron Biggs. Virtual Office VA Staffing is a great service provider. Each time that I add more services, the results are fantastic. Nick Lloyd. Now this next one is kind of long, but I thought it really showed the point. I began my real estate investing business by following the lead of many of the industry's biggest names in guruship. One of the biggest, made it a point to bundle their VA service with other services of apparent value that were offered to the students. It seemed that if the leading guru was running the show, surely the service would be effective and simplified since it was run by the master. However, after months of paying a premium price, it became clear that this system was not working for me. I never knew who would be taking my seller calls and how well trained they were because every call went into a queue for any available VA to pick up and call. This made it impossible to either provide a consistent client experience or manage training and feedback to ensure my clients are handled the way I wanted. I'm no micromanager, but I just couldn't justify paying top dollar to have my leads handled within a system that I had almost no control over. Realizing this wouldn't work for me long term, I began looking for alternatives and even posted a Craigslist ad for a local assistant. After being overloaded with applications and no time to interview, much less adequately train a local PA, I realized this was a lost cause also. Thankfully, I met Elsa just in time. She provided me a truly turnkey alternative that was effective, manageable, flexible, and cost-effective. Now I have a dedicated team that I can work together with to make things happen efficiently. They're extremely well-trained and experienced, so I know my clients are having a quality experience. If I decide to modify our standard process, I only need to talk to one or two people to make it happen, and that makes it so much easier to manage the process. Best of all, their billing system is set up to bill by the minute for only the time that my account is actively worked. It's flexible, so I only pay for the time I use and never feel pressured to catch up to get the hours worked that had already been paid for. Thank you for providing outstanding service without which I would have never been able to keep up with all the leads we generate each day. I know that was kind of long, but it really showed how someone tried different things first before we were actually able to assist them. Just a couple more here. Elsa is without a doubt a go-to person. Her concern is always for the client. You can hear and see it in everything that she and through her the business does. The demands that we put on her were difficult to say the least, but her dedication to providing the best service and getting us the results we expected never failed. Add to this that Elsa is truly a remarkable individual that you will come to trust and certainly succeed with. I would be pleased to add to this if anyone had any questions, just ask. Papa John Slavic. Last one here. I was struggling with making cold calls. The rejection aspect hindered my progress. Once my VA was on board, I immediately was being presented with interested prospects that I could begin focusing on what I do well. Hand off the tasks you're not comfortable with to focus on your business. Rick Corbin. So, are you ready to take the business to the next level by having a VA do the work for you? Go to our website at www.virtualofficeva.com for additional information and to sign up. You can also send us an email with any questions at info@virtualofficeva.com, or you can call us at 855-to-get-a-VA or local 704-706-2230. Get the proven system that the successful investors have already started using. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope we were able to answer your questions and would love to get to start working with you today. Have an awesome day.